Hey Stampers, Diane Dimich here. Hey Stampers, Diane Dimich here with DDStamps.com, and I think I have my computer issues figured out. Keep your fingers crossed. So I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to follow through like I'm doing a workshop. I don't know who's going to be out there because, number one, I wasn't able to post out a message to everybody. So I'm not even sure at this point if I'm going to be able to take your questions or see the chat box, but I'm going to work on this. I'm going to just go ahead and do a quick demonstration. I've got some projects that I did at a workshop earlier this week. I'm hoping that you can hear me and see me, and hopefully if you can, pop up there in the chat box and say something. Like I said, I'm not sure if it's going to show up, but I'm going to give it my best shot. So anyway, I'm going to head on back to my stamp table so that we can get this going. Oh, good. It looks like the chat box is working. Somebody says hi. Hi. Okay, so anyway, back here to the stamp table. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the Good Morning Magnolia. I did a couple cards the other night at a workshop, and so I had my supplies out, and I thought, oh, let's give this another shot. My son came over and has helped me with some of my computer issues. Anyway, so hopefully this works. So I am going to use the embossing, or the Stamp and Cut and Emboss with the Magnolia set. And on this card I'm actually using some of my rectangular stitch dies, and I just wanted to show you quickly. Now a lot of my dies, like this one that coordinates with a specific set, I actually store on a shelf with that. I usually put a rubber band around them and store them that way. But these dies that can be used for just about anything, like the stitch dies, I actually have on a pegboard that hangs up above my counter. And I just have the 4 biggest ones on this particular ring. And the reason that I split them up and put them on different rings was because I usually know what I'm looking for. And I can, take out, there's like so many choices. I can take out 12 choices right off the bat, knowing that I needed one of the bigger stitch dies. So what I did is I just took a piece of crumb cake and I laid that on there and I ran it through the Big Shot. And then I had my background piece on this card. And personally, I went and stamped with the thinking of you. I did it crooked on purpose because I knew that I probably wouldn't get it straight. And so this just made it easy. If I actually did it on crooked on purpose, it would look like I meant to, which I did. So a couple of things. I need to get my Stamparatus. Now I realize that I've kind of had a struggle the last few weeks, and I haven't really, I've stamped a little, but I took my technology frustrations and decided to just forget them for a while and move on because I was so frustrated. So anyway, this Magnolia Bloom, I do love this stamp. I'm going to use the big one. I'm going to show you a couple different things with the Stamparatus. Now I am going to use this little rubber craft mat. I don't think that's what it's called, but I keep that with my Stamparatus just because I like to personally put my cardstock up to the corner so that I know it's always in a safe place, and it's going to be butted up against the corner, so where I plan to stamp my image, it will happen. And when I do that with a bigger stamp like this, sometimes if I have it on there and I'm too close to the edge of the hinge, I might not get these two inked as well as I'd like to. But by putting this little mat in there, and I actually keep that mat in there too for my photopolymer stamps. I think it works great. I put it so it's just underneath the foam. Anyway, a couple of things. When I'm doing stamping, here's my little tip for today. So if I'm going to do this Magnolia flower, and say I want to stamp 20 of them and cut them out, what I will do is I will actually set this up. So I'm going to lay, first off you have to have the die right. So I'm going to lay my stamp upside down on where the hole is for the die cut. And then I will pick up the stamp. And then what I'll do is I cut out, 20 of these, because it's easy to cut these out if you don't have to line it up. So if I'm doing 20 cards, I can do 2 layers of the white Whisper White cardstock, cut them all out, and then I can kind of mindlessly ink them up. Because I always know that as long as I'm up in the corner, and I've actually lined the stamp up right, when I stamp this down, it will come out and stamp it perfectly. And if I don't get it good enough, I can always put the die back in and do it over. Now if I'm just doing a couple of cards, 1 or 2 cards with the Magnolia, I will just go ahead and stamp it and then cut them out. But I love this way of doing things when I'm doing large multiples or if I'm just sitting around watching TV. So I've got the Magnolia stamp. So that's one of the benefits of the Stamparatus. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm using the Memento ink on this because I'm going to go ahead and use the blends. Blends are my favorite markers ever. I love the ease of using them. And I just love, you know, it's just, they're so easy and I think everything looks so good with that. So to begin with, I'm just going to put a little bit of color into this Magnolia. And so I'm coming in with the dark petal pink. And you can actually start with either color. It doesn't matter if you go light or dark. Everybody has a preference. I like to mix it up. And the other thing I need to do is I need to make sure I'm kind of paying a little bit of attention here because I want to make sure that I'm actually coloring the petals and not the leaves. So once I've done the dark, then I'm just going to come in with the light and just do a little bit of blending. And like I said, I don't want a ton of color on this, I just want a little bit of shading. I can always go back in and make it darker. I want to just kind of blend in those spots. So really just a quick way to color in this Magnolia without having to spend so much time. Do the same thing with the leaves, and this is Old Olive. So I'm actually just kind of going right in where Stampin' Up! Has those shade lines for the stamped image. And I'm putting in some dark Old Olive, and then I'm going to come in with the lighter Old Olive and really kind of just blend that in. And sometimes I just leave a white spot where I don't put color. Because you really don't have to color the whole thing. And then I'll show you what else I do once I've put my first layer down of the light, and I'll leave a spot. Both ends. And then what I can do with, like for this, I can actually come back over this and I will get even a lighter shade. And it's okay to have highlights. It doesn't have to be perfect. So I just really want to make a very quick stamped image, as you can see. And so then what I did with this is I took some of this beautiful petal pink ribbon, I love this ribbon, and I tied it around my stitched background. See, the ribbon actually goes all the way around the flower. And then I attached the flower onto the stitched piece, and then I actually trimmed it. You wouldn't have to, but I did trim it to the stitched piece, and then attach that to a base of crumb cake. So super simple, easy card. Makes for a fast card, and I just want to show you that tip with using the Stamparatus. Now I'm going to go ahead and change to a different card using the same Magnolia, or not the same Magnolia, but the stamp from that. So let me get to the bottom of my stuff here. This time I'm bringing in these stitch nested labels, and I will tell you, you'll notice that this one is not on a ring, and there's a reason for that. The reason is it has this straight one here, and it won't fit on a ring. So I don't want these to get lost from that. So I actually just keep these in the pouch that it comes in, and I have those on a shelf. So if it has anything that can't be put on a ring, I just don't want them to be separated. I like to keep my dies, all of my dies together. So that's what I did there. Now on this card that I'm doing, I'm actually coming in, and this is a piece of 4 1/4 by 11, and it's the thicker cardstock. Hear the thickness of it. So this is our thick white cardstock, and I like to use this when I'm doing a base of a card. So this is going to be my base card, and it really is it's a nice piece of cardstock. And then I'm coming in with some of the designer series paper in this like magnolia series. Oh my gosh, that whole paper is beautiful. And I've just recently watched demonstrators actually color in these flowers. So if you don't want that pink shading, you can color them in any color. People were doing them for their Christmas cards. They were just gorgeous. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to add, somebody's going to ask too. I will tell you that this PDF is actually on my website, and I will link it in the bottom there in the video so that you so you can get it. I'm going to move that out of the way because I want to measure it. So I'm just going to tell you the measurement is like 5 by 2 3/4 for this piece. And like I said, I have the measurements. I have a PDF on my website. I'll link them together. I'm going to put that one on there. And then this piece of mossy meadow, I'll have it measured. Well, I can tell you. What the heck? This one is 4, it looks like actually 3 7/8 by maybe 5 1/8 or 5 1/4. And then I'm going to take this piece, and this is 1 inch. I do know that. Now when I'm putting this one on here, I'm actually going to start it at the bottom of this card because I want it to continue to have that same frame around the edge, and I can see I have a little spot in here. But that's okay because I'm going to actually add a ribbon into there, into that piece, and I'm just going to take this linen ribbon. So you get this linen ribbon plus the Mossy Meadow Baker's Twine. It's a pack that goes together with the designer series paper, and that's sweet. I'm having some issues with I think my snails cartridges have been around for so long that I probably have to get new ones because they seem to be holding back on themselves. Let me grab a scissors somewhere. So I just put some of that linen onto the front of that card. I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to add adhesive so that I can fold these over to the back of my layer. And now when I'm going to post this like onto a card, you'll see how I went right over that ribbon. So what I do is I kind of sandwich the ribbon end between 2 pieces of adhesive, and that's going to hold it on there. Hopefully, no, it will. It's pretty sturdy that way. And I'm just going to attach that to my card base. And then to do the front, I'm actually going to take this little magnolia onto a block. I'll flip it up a block. And this time I'm using early espresso ink. One of the things I love about the blends is that you can use our classic inks with them. And this won't be so stark. It's not black, so it will give you just it'll just set a different tone for your card. It's not as harsh. And I'm going to stamp the thinking of you, and that doesn't really matter because when I go to run this through my Big Shot, I can just line it up exactly how I want it so I get it straight. Does that make sense? And then again, I'm going to take, you want to make sure that this is dry, and I'm going to use a couple of, did I add, I must have added, yeah. I'll just come in with a little soft suede for that little stem. And then I'm going to come in with the light Mossy Meadow. And again, just add a little color in there. And then I'm going to, oh, that was light. Okay, so then I'm going to add dark in there. I don't know what I was thinking. So I'll just do a little bit of dark. I didn't even make these. I don't know what the magnolia looks like. So we'll just make these 3 little leaves at the bottom. Little leaves. And then just kind of blend in that darker color. It just gives you a bit of a shading. It doesn't have to be, like I said, it doesn't have to be anything perfect. And then again, I'm going to come in with the lighter petal pink. And I will tell you that my lighter petal pink is starting to dry out. I have noticed that the lighter colors in the blends dry out quicker than the darker colors. One of the things I love about the blends is that if one of the pair dries out, you only have to buy one marker. You don't have to buy two, which is really nice. So on this particular card, I'm just going to pull it in because you guys can see what else I did. So I ran those through the Big Shot using this here, and then the flower there, and then I added them onto this card. So you get your stitched label, which I actually added with dimensionals. And then I added the flower. I started to add it with dimensionals, but I decided that it was too bulky. So I took the foam tape off and just added it right onto the label. And then I used some of that mellow moss, green, mossy baker's twine to tie that flower on there. But it just gave me a great look. This would be a great sympathy card. Either one of them would. Or just a thinking of you card. So those are two projects that I did for you today. I'm hoping that I'll be able to answer questions and whatnot. We will see. Yes, people on YouTube are saying that they can see me, so that's great. Anyway, I just wanted to come on quick, let you know that I'm figuring this out. I plan to be doing live streaming again. I'm having a hard time getting it onto my website, but after the fact I can put it up there. So I have a few more things to go with my son, and we'll get there. So I hope that you enjoyed that, and if you had any questions, you would pop them in the comments, because I'm only on YouTube right now. And otherwise, I'm going to say goodbye and hope that everybody got their holiday catalog. If you don't have a demonstrator and you're interested in a holiday catalog, pop me a email to Diane at DDStamps.com, and I will get one in the mail too. They are out there. People are starting to get them, and they're pretty exciting. So I hope you enjoyed that. Have a great day. Thank you. Bye-bye.